All right, y'all. Let's get into these picks here. Week 14. I'm going to start off with the elite. All right, number 6, I got the Texans. Same thing from last week, 9-3. They haven't really changed too much. Number 5, I got the Chargers. Now, they didn't have them ranked last week. The win in Pittsburgh is what I predicted, but I expected that, and they looked pretty decent. They improved their standings a little bit more. Plus, Chicago fell off and lost to the Giants, so I had to move them out. So I got the Chargers, number 5. Number 4, I got the Chiefs in there, 10-2. I had them number 5 last week because Chicago lost. I bumped them up. Number 3, same thing. I got the Patriots at 9-3. Number 2, I dropped the Saints by 1 slot, but losing the Cowboys. I mean, that wasn't too much on them. Cowboys got a great defense. They're hyped up. They needed to win. So I got the Saints number 2. Number 1, I got the Rams, 11-1. All right, last week I had them second. Now I got them back at the top. Now, as far as these picks, for the Monday night game here, I've got Tennessee winning that one. Jacksonville is acting like they're trading in, starting Cody Kessler, treating it like a preseason game. I think it's going to go under. These teams can't really score too much. They're decent at the run. Don't have much passing game going on for either team. And like I said, Jacksonville's starting Kessler, so I don't expect them to score too much. They got the over-under 37.5. I expect that to go under. Now moving on to Sunday, we got Baltimore, Kansas City. Maybe the game of the week. It's definitely going to be a good one. I have Baltimore winning this game on the road in KC with the upset. So that means I like Baltimore plus the 6.5 points. I think that this is going to get into a bit of a shootout. Baltimore's defense is obviously better than Kansas City's defense. Expect Lamar Jackson to show out because it's going to look like a college game. So over-under 53, I like that to go over, as well as I like Baltimore to cover that spread of 6.5 points. Next, I've got the Colts here losing to the Texans at home. Texans are still rolling. Colts got embarrassed, weren't able to score. They threw the ball like 54 times, 52 times, something stupid like that. How in the world, why in the world would you throw the ball 50-something times and you lose the game 6-0? I mean, you're only a touchdown away from taking the lead. Why are you in such a panic mode and throwing the ball 54-something times? That's just idiotic. You know, and that kind of stupid play doesn't win football games. So I think they're going to get beat by the Texans. That's just really dumb. That's really dumb. All right, next, Carolina playing at Cleveland. Carolina's struggling. Cam Newton's realizing that he needs to step up and be Superman. He needs to go back to his Auburn days and just take over games. He's got some good help around him. Defense isn't bad. They're just not able to put up the W's. So they're going into Cleveland here. Cleveland, they got something to prove. Greg Williams has something to prove. Cleveland may get the win. They're 1-point underdogs at home, but I think Cam Newton's really going to get pissed off if he goes and loses to Cleveland. So I think he's going to do everything it takes. I expect him to probably have a pretty good game. I mean, he might go for a couple touchdowns, either on the ground or in the air, or 2 on the ground and 2 in the air. I don't think Cam Newton wants to lose to Cleveland. He's a bit of an egomaniac, to say the least. Next, we got Atlanta, Green Bay. I was going back and forth on this one. I picked Green Bay initially. I switched to Atlanta because I'm thinking that they fired Mike McCarthy and the Joe Philbin. I don't like him as a head coach at all. So I think that he was probably going to come and screw things up. However, this is the first week here. He's probably going to let things roll with the system the way it was going. They're good enough to beat Atlanta. So I don't think Philbin will screw too much up here. And Aaron Rodgers will probably be able to pretty much function as the offensive coordinator without McCarthy around. So expect Aaron Rodgers to have a decent game, I think, against this weak Atlanta defense. Over-under is 49.5. I like that to go over. I think that because Atlanta's defense is soft, and because they're going to have to try to do something with their core wide receivers. Now, they got some questionables out there. They got Ridley's questionable. They got Jones questionable. But, I mean, they don't have Shanahan out there calling the plays. So they don't balance it. So they're going to throw the ball a lot, too. I think that's going to go over. Now we got New Orleans and Tampa Bay. Now Tampa Bay gave New Orleans a shocking win. Fitzmagic came out and took over that game, beat them in New Orleans in the first week. New Orleans is definitely looking for some revenge in this game. Definitely looking for some revenge. They realized they're a much better team. They played in that game. They're 9-point favorites in this game in Tampa. I don't know about that spread. Probably going to leave that one alone. Over-under 56. Probably going to go over that because Tampa's going to be throwing it. They can't run anyway. They're going to be throwing it. Saints will be moving the ball any kind of way. You'll probably see Taysom Hill. Anybody out there will be able to move the ball in Tampa, I think. So expect a shootout there. I don't think Tampa's defense is going to rise to the occasion. Now we got the Jets at Buffalo. This was kind of a tough decision, but I think Buffalo's probably going to win it. I mean, Josh Allen's starting to come into form here. Buffalo's 3-point favorites. They're probably going to cover that. So I think the Buffalo -3 is pretty good. Over under 38. Yeah, I don't know where it's going to go. If Buffalo gets hot, they could blow them out. All right, New England at Miami. Now, Miami is 7-point underdogs. First of all, I like the points. I like the points in that 7-point underdogs at home against New England. Tom Brady, you asking himself, he hates playing in Miami more than anywhere in the league. They're known to cough up games, even when the Dolphins are terrible. Patriots lose games in Miami. So I'm picking Miami again. To me, you're picking Miami should be the favorite just because of history and happenstance. Now, on paper, New England is better, of course. However, Miami still should be able to get some action through the passing game, and they're good with the turnover. So they get some pass rush going, Cameron Wake and everything out there, and Brady's liable to throw a couple of picks. They house a couple of those. Dolphins get the win. All right. Next, I'm going to go with the Giants here playing in D.C. against the Redskins. They're both not good. I just think the Redskins what do you say? Alex Smith hurt, and Colt McCoy hurt now, and go and pull out Marquis Sanchez. I just don't like that. I don't like that. I don't think he's good. I never thought he was good. He's a beneficiary of other talent around him, and people think he's good looking, so he keeps getting jobs. But I think the Giants are going to win. San Francisco now playing against Denver. This was a tough one at first. Emmanuel Sanders is hurt. Looks like he's going to be out for the season. So since that's their only real option in the passing game, I don't think they're going to be able to win this one. San Francisco is 4-point underdogs at home, so I like that 4 points there. Emmanuel Sanders being out, that's probably going to change. I'd take it as soon as possible because it's probably going to change with Sanders being out. But I like the 49ers in that one. Next, I've got Cincinnati here going into L.A. facing the Chargers. I think they're going to get crushed. I think they're absolutely going to get crushed. They're doing the same thing, running around like Jacksonville with some nobody quarterback. Very seldom will I take a 14-point spread, but I think the Chargers will cover that 14-point spread. They're clicking right now. They got a big win in Pittsburgh last week, and they're going to come home, and I think they're going to come out and demolish the Bengals just to tune up for the game they got coming up the week following, where they get their rematch against the Chiefs, who beat them earlier in the year. And I think they think they're going to be able to beat the Chiefs this time, because the Chiefs have no defense, and the Chargers have a little bit better defense than the Chiefs do. I mean, that's just the facts of it all. So I think they're just going to crush the Bengals. And Marvin Lewis will start talking about hot seat. He might get fired after the game if it's bad enough. Next, we're going to go on here to the Detroit Lions playing in Arizona against the Cardinals. I think that the Lions are probably going to win this one. Arizona, both these teams are pretty much in preseason mode right now. But Lions, I like the coach a little bit better. What can I say? And the quarterback's a little bit better. So that's what I'm going off of pretty much. I don't think it's going to be a very good game at all. But I'm going with the Lions to win it. Next, we got Philly at Dallas. Now, Philly needs this win. They're going to come out firing out for this win. Dallas is going to be cocky because of their win off the Saints. So that's going to set them up for a trap game. However, Dallas, I still think is going to win a close one. I think it's going to be close, and Dallas will still win the game because I just think they're really just the better team right now. Philly's got a lot of things to work out. They got Golden Tate in there. They really haven't even figured out how they want to use him and where they want him to be just yet. He was decent last week, so we'll see if they can make that continue. But Philly's got some issues, offense and defense, so we'll see what they can do against the Cowboys, but I think the Cowboys are probably going to win it. Next, I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers playing in Oakland against the Raiders. Now, what can I say? Despite the fact that James Conner is out, and the Steelers are going to be going to, I think this guy's Edmonds, I think is his name. I'm not, don't quote me on that. But at any rate, they're going to their third string. Stephen Ridley is not supposed to be starting, but they're supposed to split carries. I don't think it's going to matter because the Raiders can't stop anybody from running the football. So it's not going to matter who the Steelers start at running back. I think I could go out there, suit up against the Raiders defense behind the Steelers offensive line, and I could at least pick up about 75 yards, probably get into the end zone. The Raiders just, I mean, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Jude Gruden wants to pick up people that he obviously doesn't have now, so I don't like that. Going Pittsburgh. Over-under 51.5. I don't like that either. I'm not really going to play the under. Carr might get hot and score some points, but Pittsburgh's going to win this game, I'm pretty sure. Roethlisberger's probably going to go off. He's probably going to have a great game. They might put up 51 themselves, but the Raiders might not be able to do anything. So Pittsburgh might win 40-3, and it's not going to go over. So anyway, next game, Rams, another one maybe game of the week, Sunday night game, Rams at Chicago. All right, this one is going to be billed pretty large. The Rams are going to be favored. They're favored right now by 3. I think that's going to hold. Over-under 51.5. I'm not really sure about how high scoring it's going to be, but I do think that Khalil Mack and the Chicago Bears are going to have a big game defensively, and they're going to beat the Rams. I think that's going to put them on the map, even though I dropped them out of my elite teams this week. I think the Bears are going to make a statement against my number 1 ranked team, which that may seem stupid to do that, but at any rate, I think the Bears are going to get that win in Chicago. Can't fault the Rams. Their only loss was in New Orleans. They succumbed to the New Orleans playing with a home crowd. And so I think this might be the same situation, is that the Chicago crowd mixed with the Chicago defense is going to overwhelm them just enough to get for Chicago to get the win. I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything. Next, Monday night, Minnesota and Seattle. Another good game, another good one. I think Seattle's going to win it. They've been playing pretty well. They're not really playing to their strengths of old. They're really a different team they were, and they won the Super Bowl. But Russell Wilson's good. You can't say nobody saw him coming. There's people that knew Russell Wilson was good. They knew he was good at NC State. They knew he was good at Wisconsin. Russell Wilson's good. He's leading the team right now. So I think they're going to get the win against Minnesota. They've got a tough defense. But they haven't been able to travel very well. And coming off that loss in New England, I don't think they're going to be able to do much against Seattle.